at the Linear Trial Academy, we have one speaker, right? Mark Lanier. I think we can check that box.
Yes.
With this conference, that the speaker is the penultimate speaker that you want. What are some of the other things of value that maybe are not so obvious that someone should be getting out of a conference?
It's oddly enough, a lot of the vendors say, man, this guy can really keep the attention of attorneys. They barely even, they hold their pee to even go out for a pee break. And I look at that as really a plus, a value deal where it's going to attract serious attorneys. And I think it's the content and then also creating an educational environment. Conferences used to be all about professional development, leaving different than you arrived. And now, I hate to say it, man, I've seen some stuff, and I'm just gonna, I don't hide much. I've seen people, been in healthy relationships, lose their relationship because they're on this road every other week and not growing anything but their ego and reliving maybe some lost times in the past.
So maybe the takeaway here is get to know the people who attend these conferences, vendors, attendees, people who put on the show. And there's so much more value that is already inherently there that just needs to be unlocked.
I literally sit at my desk. It's always like 5:30 or later when the office is empty. The lighting's pretty good. And I set my phone up once or twice a week and try to just off the cuff give a 15 to 90 second here's some law for you. And it's good. It's not polished. It's not super clean. It's authentic. I think people like that. I think whenever you post really high quality stuff on social media, sometimes people scroll right past. We associate high quality content as an advertisement. Whereas when it's authentic, there's little, uhs, you misspeak. It's real. That's what people are attracted to.
How does OpenAI handle the similar data that someone would upload through Supio versus uploading just through standard ChatGPT 5?
For companies like that with something like ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude, right? What they're trying to do is get that data to continue to reinforce and refine their models. That's their business model. And then they take that fine model and then they sell it to enterprise companies like ours that actually need secure data, right? So you probably don't want to be uploading your data into these types of portals because they're in the business of improving their models with your client data.
I don't know if everybody knows that.
I don't think anyone knows that.
No, we have a policy on our team. You cannot use any AI tool unless it has been pre-approved. And even if it has been pre-approved, you're never uploading any client data. You're never uploading any lead data. You're never uploading any PAI. You're never uploading any financial data. We had to lay those ground rules because things move so quickly. OpenAI released their browser today, right? And people want to start using it. And I'm like, no, you cannot yet. We have to set what the rules are around these things so that the data that's going in them is secure. And it's good to know that you guys have these proper protections in place because you are dealing with 200 plus different law firms and all of their client data.
I'm a big Gemini user. I will caveat that now over ChatGPT. And it's interesting because they've even made the jump now where it prompts me, goes, do you want your personalized Gemini experience or the regular one? So what that's doing is remembering all my chats, building a profile and giving me more customized results. This is just based on Gemini, but as it pulls in more and more profile data about me, it's just going to get better and better because Google has access to all that today. All my search history from forever ago to really personalize the results moving forward. It's going to be a game changer once they figure all that out.
I think they've already figured it out, right? This is why, we talked about this morning, Mark. This is why Google's going to win, right? ChatGPT may have been first, but Google is going to win.
Hot take, we're putting a stake in the ground. Google's going to win. One of the largest corporations in the world is going to beat ChatGPT.
In this world where it's going with AI, I think consumers are going to start filtering out anything that's not personal, like personalized. Yeah. So
personalized isn't like putting Trudy in the front, filling in an email.
No.
With an autofill.
No, exactly. No, I just think anything that feels generic is just going to start getting filtered out. So touches like that are going to become even more important. The first place my brain goes is you need to build a team. You need a team to do stuff like that. You're right. You can't just have that automated necessarily, especially a handwritten note. So you need a team, so you have the space to do that, or they have the space to do that. But that's how I would scale something like that, which seems the old-fashioned way at this point. I know everything's about AI and automation, but human touch things are human touch things, and you need humans.
One of the birth injury cases, it settled the night before closing argument, but my partner was going to do the damages part of it. And for a long time, I think I'm not alone in this, but plaintiffs' lawyers can struggle a little bit when trying to convey that the intangibles, the things like pain and suffering, are actually more valuable than the economic damages in a case, like the medical bills. The medical bills and those types of economics, a lot of times we think are easier for the jury to hold on to because it's concrete. We could put a number on it. It's backed up, to the
there's
penny.
a bill here. Yeah.
But I truly believe that it's the non-economics that are more valuable. So I put this concept into this birth injury case, and I'll give you one example. What it came up with, literally, I got goosebumps because it said it more succinctly than I've ever thought about it in my life. It was something like reimbursing the plaintiff or providing for medical expenses may provide a wheelchair or the necessary physical therapy, but it'll never replace the feeling that the child would have had of dancing on her own 2 feet. And it did this with every single injury to the point where I was just blown away. I was almost upset we settled the case because I wanted to hear and see the jury's reaction to this. It was unreal.
There's only two ways that law firms make more money. One is they hire you, right? And you increase the number of cases that come into the law firm. So you increase your percentage of market share. Other than that, the only way to increase the revenue is increase the value of each case. So I don't care what other companies say. If at the end of the case, you draft my demand letter. So we didn't do medical management. We didn't figure out what's going on with the client. We didn't maximize their treatment. I just give you the records. Whether I write it or you write it, are you really telling me that you're going to get me more for my case because you wrote a better demand? That's ridiculous. Like, what do you think? The insurance companies are stupid, right? So they don't care what you write in the demand. They're going to look at the ICD codes. They're going to look at the records. They're going to look at the bills. They're going to see what matches. And their computer, right, Colossus, 20 years ago existed, is going to run the numbers and figure out what the case is worth. We're not talking about catastrophic cases, right? So just the everyday case. So what we're connecting, or what my goal, what I envision the future is, right, is bilateral communication between the case management system and AI.
When those national firms come in and start flooding a market, they don't have any presence prior to that. What is the visceral reaction that you have when you see that happening?
Ironically, Friday, so a few days ago, my account manager at Adams Outdoor, my billboard guy, called me like in a panic, left me a voicemail. He's like, "You got to call me back." I'm like, I called him back. I was like, "Hey, what's going on? Did the billboard blow up?" He's like, "I just got off the phone with a national competitor that's about to buy up everything. What do you want to do?" And this is just what we're dealing with now with the private equity firms and just capitalism, whatever you want to put it on. This is a reality that we are facing now. Emotionally, when I see it, when I see somebody out of area in my market, I'm offended. Because it's like, you guys watch Mean Girls, like, you don't even go here. But I have to come back to reality, because I firmly believe that the years of work that we put in prior to their billboards going up, prior to their commercials, prior to their PPC, they're buying up my name. I have to believe that the work that we put in our region, in Hampton Roads, will show, right? They don't know them. They don't know those big competitors. They don't know that one lawyer all the way up in Northern Virginia. They don't know them, right? And so all they have to go off for their reputation is a billboard. Nobody's going to refer them locally.
I think the message that sums it all up is just a few words that lawyers like to talk, and lawyers like to have egos. People like,
Lawyer.
I mean, yeah. But I mean, that philosophy, when we started an ad, there can't be, it's not about us, it's all about you. And that's kind of been my philosophy. We judge our success by your success. This thing about, it's all about you. Those are 3 words. It is. It's not about us.
So let me tell you where that came from. You want to know where that came from?
Sure.
There's a Rolling Stones album that came out in 1980, 81. It's called Emotional Rescue.
There's a song on it.
Okay. You've heard that song on Emotional Rescue. On the back side of the album.
On the B side.
The B side of the album, probably the last
album
song
that no one listened to.
is probably the last song on the list is a song that Keith Richards sings. It's called All About You. But the theme of it wasn't like about clients and stuff, but we kind of listened to that. It was about a love affair, between his girlfriend and him or whatever the song was. But then we kind of listened to that. It is all about. And Eddie kind of picked up on that. And he came home one night and said, or one day to the office, and he started this whole campaign on It's All About You. And that's really,
But can you talk a little bit about how that shift has occurred from heavy pharmaceutical into now opening the world of mass tort litigation to non-pharmaceutical case types?
Well, I think the firms have looked at what's impacting society the most. Mm-hmm. And if you have kids, you know that your kids never leave their screens. Mm-hmm. We got involved in the video game addiction. I researched it, but I walked in on my son one night over summer. It's like 2:00 in the morning and he was playing Call of Duty. I said, "Who are you playing with?" He said, "My new friend in London." And I said, "You don't have a friend in London."
It's a red flag.
It's a total red flag. So, and I spoke to him about it. I said, "You can't do that." "Why? He's a nice guy." I said, "You don't know anything about him." So you have, the addiction, to stay up late, play the games, ignore social norms, get violent if they take away the games. Mm-hmm. And it spoke to me that this is going to be a problem in our society. So we got involved in the video game litigation, and one of our experts came in to give us a tutorial, and he showed a picture of a little video of a baby who was playing with a phone, 6 or 8 month old baby. He took the phone away and the baby got hysterical, crying, throwing a fit. They handed him the phone back, stopped crying. So that you start with your kids very young. You want to keep them busy at a restaurant, you give them a screen. Keep them busy in the car, you give them a screen. But what the manufacturers, developers have learned is that you can addict these kids with the in-app purchases. It's the dopamine rush.
It's a drug like anything else.
It's a drug. And I didn't realize it. And my son's the prime example. When we were moving and we had to unplug his computer, he was freaking out that he was going to lose the progress in his games. And literally was almost in tears. "I can't lose my progress." So that spoke to me like there's something going on here other than enjoying the games. They've addicted our youth.